So what did you guys, each of you guys, how did you feel during the whole experience? Just share a little about, from start to finish really quick.
The thing I liked the least of it was the water temperature. It was freezing cold out there. And I've done many triathlons where you swim in the swimming pool, and I like that a whole lot better too. You get out there in a reservoir with 2,000 swimmers, and it's just constant body colliding. And right when you're stroking, your arm gets caught on someone's leg. I heard of someone else that got his goggles broken from getting kicked in the face and things like that. So all those bodies
out. Quite a bit though.
Yeah, that part's not fun, but the cold water was just. I'd done a week prior to Ironman, decided I'd go try getting used to the water temperature, and I had a sleeveless wetsuit that I was using, and I shortened my workout to about a third of what I was planning on doing just because I was getting hypothermia out there. Went and bought a long sleeve wetsuit because I knew it was going to be cold, and it still didn't do the trick for me. 5 times during the swim, I'd swim over and grab onto a kayak because I'd have to stretch. My legs were cramping to where they were just curled up, and I felt like I was going to be down at the bottom of the reservoir or something if I didn't. So the swim was real disappointing, and it was the same place my legs started cramping at mile 50 in the biking, and in my biking workouts I wasn't used to that. So I think it might have been from the cold water temperatures. It took 25 miles of biking before I stopped shivering, and in transition 1 I was sitting there trying to get my shoes on, and nothing would work.
Everything's just
I couldn't
stiff.
even the shivering made it so I couldn't even control my body.
Using your thumbs to try to get your shoes on and tie your shoes.
And the tent was fairly warm in there.
I'd heard of some people that spent a little time in the tent wrapped up in a blanket, and I thought,
you're gonna be there for a while to get warm.
That's what they told me. You did that, and I thought that sounded pretty smart. I would have done that, but the biking felt dangerous to be out there shivering on my bike and hitting some of those downhills and surrounded by bikers too. Once that swim got behind us, it was just kind of a day in the sun, enjoying 12 hours out there beating yourself up.
Well, for me, the swim wasn't so bad. I actually was prepared with a 5mm shirt underneath my wetsuit.
So you're doubled up
underneath
everything.
I was comfortable.
Yeah.
But getting out of the water was another story.
You still cramped though during the swim, right?
3/4 of the way through, I was still getting some effects of that in my legs.
And when you look at Lindsey's body fat, you know you've got to do something to. He doesn't have his own built-in.
We were actually talking about that before we started
there.
I did. I had an experience with hyperthermia years ago at the Minersville Reservoir.
Okay.
And I had hyperthermia after 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't let me continue at that. And no way is that going to happen here at the Ironman. I was going to make sure I was going to get out of that water.
Take care of yourself, yeah.
But exiting the water, I couldn't even stand up. My legs were still cramping.
Oh, really?
And so I had to sit there and just take my wetsuit off, get that out of the way. Once that was done...
Did you do that right when you came out of the water?
Got the wetsuit off off at the shoreline.
Good.
And about 10 seconds later, I was able to get up the chute there. Mm-hmm. And my transition time was about 4 minutes to the bike. And most transition times were like 10, 8 minutes, 12.
It's pretty amazing how they had those transitions set up. You guys have good experiences to the transitions?
I was crowded in there.
Was it? Okay.
But we still found a spot to sit and do our change.
I like T2. I'd never done a triathlon where they grabbed the bike for you.
Yeah.
I guess Huntsman was that way. But usually you have to park your own bike, and here you're renting the bike and someone's ready to take the bike from you. And so they knew how to use their volunteers.
Oh, yeah.
They were very well organized.
Yeah.
But anyway, before I grabbed my bike, they actually had a lady there putting suntan lotion on you. You just both sides.
Yeah, I saw that. They come out of the tent there, run out of the tent, and they're just one bunch of girls.
So since
all these cute girls putting suntan lotion on you.
Great. But if you're going to be out there for so many hours, you got to have some protection.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very vital to not get dehydrated in that manner. But, because the skin does take some energy out of you if you aren't protected. But anyway, I get on the bike and we're getting out there and come into that first part where they go from the road to the bike path. I'm going, this is ridiculous.
I don't know why they added that. I'm still trying to figure that out.
I slowed down, and I figured I'm slow enough, so I go into it, and momentum carries me off of the path into the dirt. And I said, I need more room. So I was thinking, man, this is what Lance Armstrong had to do. He had to keep his balance, keep cool, and I was able to get back on without a flat tire. That would have sunk me because I didn't have a repair kit on me.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And so anyway, I continue on the bike and had a really great bike ride.
I saw you coming off the hill towards the transition. You were flying.
I took three Musketeer bars with me. That's my favorite. And I had three goos. When I first tried the goo on, it really upset my stomach. I'm thinking, oh man, my digestive system is tracking on and it's slowing me down. I'm getting upset. And that took probably about 5 to 6 miles to finally settle out. And after that, I felt like, okay, I can get back on my pace and keep going. And
one thing that surprised me about the aids in the biking, and I didn't think there was any way you could get aid while you're biking 20 miles an hour. And so I was all loaded, ready to survive 112 miles without any of their help. But if you slow down to 15 miles an hour or so, it's amazing. You could reach out and grab. They had bananas and goos and Gatorades. So for people preparing for their first time next year, they are well staffed on aid stations on the bike, and yes, you can grab stuff even on a bike.
Yeah. And I grabbed some Gatorade after what they call the wall. You come up there, and you just and my second time up the wall, I think I was
That's the climb up to Vail.
Yes, I was passing people that were on their first loop, and they were walking on their first loop, and I'm still able to stay on the pedals and get up those. But
you could tell by their speed whether they're first or second. Right.
Anyway, we had some winds out there, and of course in May, St. George is typical of that winds, and so we had headwinds going uphill. I'm thinking, oh, that's just going to really kill my time. But coming back, I was hitting over 50 miles an hour. Come down.
That's crazy. That's great.
Downhill with a tailwind, you get going fast.
So that was a lot of fun.
Well, at least it wasn't like some of those training rides where you get the wind in your face going up the hill, and you get it
down
going
down.
Right. Because we can have that in St. George too. It's going to change when we come back, but it's going to
like, oh, great. Wait a minute.
Back in your face again.
So that can sometimes that happens on my train rides. We hit the headwinds at Winchester Hills. I'm thinking, well, that didn't happen this time.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
In May, St. George weather is real unpredictable. I was really worried about. I was thinking, okay, I'll probably be running. I was estimating 2 to 6 p.m. for my marathon, and May 1st it could be pretty brutal trying to run 26 miles that time of day. I think some years it could be in the 90s. But
we were all very concerned about the heat.
I was more concerned about the heat than it was the cold weather, but it's just been such a weird year.
And I don't mind heat so much on a bike as I do running. I overheat bad when running those kind of distances.
Because you're running too fast.
But I think in future years that's going to be a concern. Although they did have aid stations every mile.
Yeah.
So you could
take care of you.
They were trying to get you to stay on the right side of the road, and if you switch over and because you go out and back, and I was needing aid stations so bad, I was getting them more than every mile just by getting both sides of the road.